Good morning, boys and girls. We're going to be reading chapter 18 of Black Beauty today, which is a chapter called Going for the Doctor. So do you remember who took James's job at Birtwick Park? Joe Green? That's it. So Joe Green is just a 14-year-old boy who's taking over for James Howard, and he is starting to learn how to take care of horses as best as he can. So we're going to see him mainly in this chapter. So let's see our text to follow along with. Oh, sorry, wrong chapter. Let me go back here. Going for the Doctor. Now, one night, a few days after James had left, I had eaten my hay and was lying down in my straw, fast asleep, when I was suddenly roused, which means awoken, roused, by the stable bell ringing very loud. I heard the door of John's house open, and his feet running up to the hall. He was back again in no time. He unlocked the stable door and came in calling out, "Wake up, Beauty! You must go well now, if ever you did." And almost before I could think, he had got the saddle on my back and the bridle on my head. He just ran round for his coat and then took me at a quick trot up to the hall door. The squire stood there with a lamp in his hand. "Now, John," he said, "ride for your life, that is, for your mistress's life. There is not a moment to lose." What do you think is wrong? His mistress, that's talking about Mrs. Gordon. So Mrs. Gordon is the reason they are riding fast in the middle of the night. He says, there is not a moment to lose. Give this note to Dr. White. Give your horse a rest at the inn and be back as soon as you can. John said, "Yes, sir," and was on my back in a minute. The gardener who lived at the lodge, who heard the bell ring and was ready with the gate open, and away we went through the park and through the village and down the hill till we came to the toll gate. Now, a toll gate, we heard about this with also the chapter about Black Beauty saving them from not going onto that bridge that collapsed. So John called very loud and thumped upon the door. The man was soon out and flung open the gate. "Now," said John, do you keep the gate open for the doctor?" I think it means, do keep that gate open for the doctor. "Here's the money." And off he went again. So he's paying him in order to keep that open the whole time. There was before us a long piece of level road by the riverside. John said to me, "Now, Beauty, do your best." And so I did. I wanted no whip nor spur. Wanted means he didn't need it, actually, in this case. He did not need a whip or a spur, which is on a person's heel of their foot, to, I know that sounds painful to the horse, but just to touch them so that they know this is urgent and speed up. And for 2 miles, I galloped as fast as I could lay my feet to the ground. Why do you think, or how do you think Black Beauty knows that he needs to hurry in this situation? Maybe kind of like the instinct where he saved them from going onto the bridge before. He has an understanding that this is an urgent situation, even though he truly doesn't understand their conversation since he's just a horse. I don't believe that my old grandfather, who won the race at Newmarket, could have gone faster. When we came to the bridge, John pulled me up a little and patted my neck. "Well done, Beauty, good old fellow," he said. He would have let me go slower, but my spirit was up, and I was off again as fast as before. The air was frosty, the moon was bright, it was very pleasant. We came through a village, then through a dark wood, then uphill, then downhill, till after 8 miles run, we came to the town, through the streets and into the marketplace. It was all quite still, except for the clatter of my feet on the stones. Everybody was asleep. The church clock struck 3, and 3 in the morning. as we drew up at Dr. White's door. John rang the bell twice and then knocked the door like thunder. A window was thrown up, and Dr. White, in his nightcap, put his head out and said, "What do you want?" "Mrs. Gordon is very ill, sir. Master wants you to go at once. He thinks she will die if you cannot get there. Here is a note." "Wait," he said. "I will come." He shut the window and was soon at the door. "The worst of it is," he said, "is that my horse has been out all day and is quite done up. My son has just been sent for, and he has taken the other. What is to be done? Can I have your horse?" So the doctor is saying, "My horse can't go? What if I took your horse instead?" What do you think is the problem with that? Black Beauty is very tired, and Black Beauty was supposed to get a rest as soon as he got to the doctor's house. Now he can't even take a moment to rest after he has run as fast as he possibly could for miles and miles. "Can I have your horse?" the doctor asks. "He has come at a gallop nearly all the way, sir, and I was to give him a rest here. But I think my master would not be against it, if you think fit, sir." "All right," he said. "I will soon be ready." John stood by me and stroked my neck. I was very hot. You know how you all probably get very hot when you've been running? Maybe your face gets red, you start sweating. That's the way Black Beauty is right now because of how fast he's been running. The doctor came out with his riding whip. "You need not take that, sir," said John. "Black Beauty will go till he drops. Take care of him, sir, if you can. I should not like any harm to come to him." "No, no, John," said the doctor. "I hope not." And in a minute, we had left John far behind. I will not tell about our way back. The doctor was a heavier man than John and not so good a rider. Why do you think that's hard? Now, Black Beauty's already exhausted, and now he's having to run again, but this time with a heavier man on his back. That makes him even more tired. However, Black Beauty says, "I did my very best." That's very admirable, isn't it? Even when things are hard, Black Beauty is persevering. The man at the toll gate had it open. When we came to the hill, the doctor drew me up. "Now, my good fellow," he said, "take some breath." I was glad he did, for I was nearly spent, but that breathing helped me on, and soon we were in the park. Joe was at the lodge gate. My master was at the hall door, for he had heard us coming. He spoke not a word. The doctor went into the house with him, and Joe led me to the stable. I was glad to get home. He's finally able to rest. My legs shook under me, and I could only stand and pant. You think it's good, though, that Black Beauty rushed like he did? I think so. Mrs. Gordon is very ill, and the fact that he ran as hard as he did, even when he was exhausted, it was for the sake of her. Like in our last chapter, to not look just out for yourself, but look out for others. That's what Black Beauty was doing. I had not a dry hair on my body. The water ran down my legs, and I steamed all over. Joe used to say, like a pot on the fire. Poor Joe, he was young and small, and as yet he knew very little. And his father, who would have helped him, had been sent to the next village. But I'm sure he did the very best he knew. He rubbed my legs and my chest, but he did not put my warm cloth on me. He thought I was so hot I should not like it. So Joe's doing the best he can. He doesn't have the people around him, John and his dad, to help. He is not putting a warm cloth that Black Beauty actually wants, even though he is hot. Then he gave me a pailful of water to drink. It was cold and very good, and I drank it all. Then he gave me some hay and some corn, thinking he had done right. He went away. Soon I began to shake and tremble and turned deadly cold. What's happening? Black Beauty is getting sick from running so fast and then being hot and not having the warm cloth that actually would start to relax him. My legs ached, he says. My loins ached, and my chest ached, and I felt sore all over. Oh, how I wished for my warm, thick cloth as I stood and trembled. I wished for John, but he had 8 miles to walk. So I lay down in my straw and tried to go to sleep. After a long while, I heard John at the door. I gave a low moan, for I was in great pain. He was at my side in a moment, stooping down by me. I could not tell him how I felt, but he seemed to know it all. He covered me up with 2 or 3 warm cloths, and then ran to the house for some hot water. He made me some warm gruel, which I drank, and then I think I went to sleep. John seemed to be very much put out. I heard him say to himself over and over again, stupid boy, no cloth put on, and I dare say the water was cold too. Boys are no good. Sorry, that's the walkie-talkie if you can hear that. But he's saying this about Joe, saying he was stupid because he didn't put that warm cloth on and that the water was cold too. But he didn't know any different. Poor Joe. Even though Joe didn't understand what to do, though, there's still terrible consequences. Where Black Beauty, he still got sick. So even though Joe didn't mean it, it's still happening that there's these terrible consequences. So we're going to hear more about that later. Now, he calls him a stupid boy and that boys are no good. I don't think that's fair for him to be saying that, right? But still, Black Beauty got very sick because of what he did, so he needs to own up to that. But Joe was a good boy after all, is what Black Beauty is thinking. I was now very ill. A strong inflammation had attacked my lungs, and I could not draw my breath without pain. John nursed me night and day. He would get up 2 or 3 times in the night to come to me. My master, too, often came to see me. My poor Beauty, he said one day. My good horse, you saved your mistress's life. Beauty, yes, you saved her life. I was very glad to hear that, for it seems the doctor had said if we had been a little longer, it would have been too late. Black Beauty did the right thing, even though he got sick. He possibly saved the mistress's life. Now, John told my master he never saw a horse go so fast in his life. It seemed as if the horse knew what was the matter. Of course I did, though John didn't know. At least I knew as much as this, that John and I must go at the top of our speed, and that it was for the sake of the mistress. Oops, that's weird. Sorry, I meant to click stop presenting. So, interesting, Black Beauty shows great perseverance in running as hard as he did, even though it became something that made him sick. He still did it for the best purpose in order to save Mrs. Gordon's life. Do you think they're being too hard on little Joe Green, though? I think that John is being too hard on him. Now, he didn't understand what actually to do for a horse in this situation. So he didn't mean anything by it. It wasn't with any bad motives. But we've already seen in an earlier chapter that ignorance is when you don't understand something. You're lacking in knowledge. And in this situation, Black Beauty still got really sick, even though Joe didn't mean anything by it. So bad things can happen if you don't have a good understanding of what you're doing. So we'll see that in an upcoming chapter as you'll see John have a conversation with someone about that. So that is all for today. Take some notes over this in Bright Thinker, and I will talk to you later. Bye.